The graphic images of terror coming from Israel are hard to comprehend, but they're hitting Jewish New Yorkers especially hard.
Rabbi Mark Wilds, founder and director of the Manhattan Jewish Experience, has guided thousands of Jewish millennials with their spiritual growth. Now he's helping them process tragedy.
He joins us now over Zoom. Rabbi, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Your own daughter is in Israel right now. A, how is she? And B, as a parent, how difficult a time is this for you?
She's doing okay. She's studying there in seminary. She hasn't been called up, to the front line. She's not in the army. So she's not in any harm's way, but it's hard, 6,000 miles away. It is our homeland, but it's still quite a distance away, but she's doing okay. She's trying to help what she can do.
Is there an effort to bring her home, or does she plan to stay, Rabbi?
It's a lot of young people in Israel studying. There's a very big phenomena here. A lot of American Jews, particularly New York Jews, have a son or daughter or a couple of kids studying in Israel. A lot of us are torn. Do we bring our kids home or not? We don't want to give the sense to our brothers and sisters in Israel that we're abandoning them in their time of need. On the other hand, if she's not serving, what is she really doing? She's able to continue to go to classes. So honestly, we're torn. She's staying there right now. She wants to help.
How can anyone make sense of what's happening in Israel and Gaza right now? We're hearing these reports, these stories of this barbaric war that is taking place these last 5 days. For the folks here at home in the U.S. that are 6,000 miles removed from it, how can they make sense of this?
This is very, very difficult. This is unprecedented in Israeli history. People are going back to the Yom Kippur War when Israel was attacked in 1973. But in a sense, this is worse because of this 1,000 or so Jews that have been killed, Israelis that have been killed. Most are civilians. In the Yom Kippur War, they were mostly soldiers. And we're seeing these horrific images of men, women, children, Holocaust survivor, wheelchair-bound people taken and brought into captivity or just killed in cold blood. And the images are being sent to their families. It's so beyond human comprehension. So, a lot of my students here in New York City, we're very, very close. There are a lot of Israelis living here in New York City. And even those of us that are not Israeli, as I said, we have family there. So this is incredibly difficult on the emotional level. I went to a rally yesterday at the United Nations. There were tens of thousands of Jewish people. It was the first time I felt since Saturday that we could breathe a little, because there was such a show of love and support from New York. At the same time, literally across the street are hundreds of pro-Palestinian supporters with Hamas flags and just cheering on this barbaric behavior. And honestly, it's very, very hard to see that in New York.
Your congregation includes many young adults who have family in Israel and have never experienced this level of violence. What are they telling you?
They're scared. They're afraid. We've been coming together to pray. We've been coming together just to sort of embrace each other and give support to one another. Look, the people on the front lines are our brothers and sisters in Israel. They're the ones who are preparing for battle along the Gaza border and elsewhere, protecting all of Israel's borders. This is a very, very difficult time for everyone, for Jews all over the world. We don't just look at Israeli Jews as those Jews over there. Those are literally our brothers, sisters, and cousins. So it's hitting New York pretty hard because there's just a lot of us with very, very, strong ties. I led a little support group 2 nights ago, and there was a dad there whose father, who's living in New York City now, and whose son was just called up. He's on the Gaza border, and he had to call his son and say goodbye to him and just give him a blessing and wish him well. And that's certainly not an easy thing to do for a parent.
Rabbi, correct me if I'm wrong, but speaking of being a parent, your son wants to travel to Israel to help counsel people there. A, what does that say about his dedication to the country, kind of as you alluded to earlier? But as his dad, what is your advice to him?
It's difficult. I don't want to, I don't want to make my kids heroes at any, God forbid, at their life's expense. But my oldest son is 26. He's a social worker. He lives in Israel. I brought him back for the holidays. He was our cantor at MJE, and his flight was canceled, and he keeps trying to get on another flight, and they keep canceling it. I'm encouraging him to go back. He wants to go back, but he's 26. I can't tell him what to do. I'm very proud of him that he wants to serve and at least to help and counsel people, because Israel's going to need a lot of therapists and counselors. He's a musician. He does these musical meditations, and that could be very helpful to people there right now.
Rabbi Mark Wiles, thank you for being with us. We wish your family continued safety.
Amen. Thank you so much.